Hello, everyone. I'm Patrick Garrity, and today I want to share with you some key takeaways from my recent posts on vulnerability disclosure, scoring, exploitation, and management. In the past week, I've covered a range of important topics that I believe are crucial for any cybersecurity researcher or professional. So let's dive in. On Monday, I explored the correlation between the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency's Known Exploited Vulnerabilities Catalog, also known as CISA, and Microsoft's Security Response Center, MSRC. I found that out of the 106 unique vulnerabilities confirmed as exploited by Microsoft, 105 of them were listed in CISA's CAB. This suggests that CISA relies on MSRC as one of its sources for identifying exploited Microsoft vulnerabilities. Interestingly, Microsoft accounted for the highest number of vulnerabilities on the CISA, which is no surprise, and sits at 259 vulnerabilities, far surpassing any other vendor on the list. It raises an important question. Why is Microsoft's own exploitation disclosure on MSRC considerably less comprehensive than CISA's CAB? This emphasizes the need for more streamlined accessibility and vulnerability disclosure and exploitation data by vendors like Microsoft. I did happen to submit the one vulnerability identified to CISA's team that appeared to be missing from the KEV, and I got a response back confirming the reason why it hasn't been added to the KEV. The reason CISA hasn't added the vulnerability to the KEV is because it doesn't meet the criteria number 3, because there is currently no clear remediation guidance for the vulnerability. Highlighting the purpose of the KEV is for federal agencies to remediate in a certain time period. This also is incredibly impressive to get pushback like this from CISA. It does confirm that they're not doing a straight copy and paste from other exploited vulnerability feeds, and they are doing some level of due diligence before adding vulnerabilities to the CISA KEV. Moving on to Tuesday, Verizon released its highly anticipated 2023 Data Breach Investigation Report, or DBIR. What caught my attention was the mapping of CIS controls, which are developed by the Center for Internet Security, to Verizon's incident classifications. This mapping provides organizations with a comprehensive list of controls aligned with high impact areas that historically led to incidences and breaches, right? By leveraging the actionable list of CIS controls incorporated in the DBIR, organizations should consider reassessing these key controls with more due diligence to help identify potential risks that align with common incidents. I did create a document on this that you can find on LinkedIn as well as Nucleus Security's website that gives you the controls straight up so you don't have to dig them out of the DBIR yourself. On Wednesday, I took a deeper dive into the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency's Known Exploited Vulnerabilities catalog, one of my favorite data sets. Building upon my previous visualizations, I created an interactive version that offers more detailed information. This would allow users to explore each vendor product vulnerability, including CVSS and EPSS scores. This type of data visualization is experimental, but I believe it has the potential to shape the future on how we might look at vulnerabilities by providing enhanced insights in accessibility. I'm curious to see how these visualizations can further enhance the way we manage vulnerabilities and do vulnerability research. Moving on to Thursday, First announced the public preview of CVSS version 4. I was excited to explore the changes. I created a visualization comparing the metrics between CVSS version 3.1 and version 4 to help understand the differences. It's a little bit overwhelming, I'm going to be honest. CVSS version 4 introduces a new scoring methodology that has the potential to enhance vulnerability analysis and provide more effective scoring. Something to actually be excited about. However, I think we should remain cautiously optimistic until we see significant improvements in the scoring itself. I encourage you to explore the changes and provide your feedback on areas where CVSS could be further improved. You can do that at first.org. Lastly, in my late Thursday post, I evaluated EPSS, an alternative to CVSS, against real-world coverage of confirmed exploitation using the CISA catalog. The results show that EPSS version 3 outperforms CVSS, requiring less effort to achieve the same coverage of vulnerabilities listed on the KEV. However, it's important to note that EPSS or CVSS should be supplemented with intelligence feeds like CISA KEV, Mandiant, and Gray Noise to provide exploitation information. Exploitation predictability is not the same as confirmed exploitation. And although EPSS shows promise as a valuable tool for enterprise organizations, it is not a replacement for comprehensive vulnerability threat intelligence feeds. And I think that's really, really important to note. So please make sure you look at things from a broad perspective as we're talking about vulnerability management. There are no silver bullets. We should be clear about that. And that wraps up this quick recap of my posts on vulnerability management this week. Thank you so much for all the positive feedback. I love the dialogue. I love the criticism. All of it helps us in opening dialogue on great and exciting topics within the vulnerability management space. So thank you. If you want to dive deeper, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm very accessible. I love talking to people, hopping on Zooms. If you have something you want to talk about or say,